Salutations, just kidding. What's good, guys? Welcome to Talk Rice to Me. I am your host, Jay.
I'm Jesse. Well, this is a continuation from our previous episode. Don't want to be talking for too long.
And we was yapping.
So, like our previous episodes, we have just came back from Korea and Japan from my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last episode, we talked about the food because you know why? We all love food, right?
Well, it's just unique, but yes.
Yes. So, food and the cafe culture because that is crazy. And if you know Korea, the cafe culture is on steroids.
I think there's more cafes than are restaurants. Well, it felt like it. Maybe because we just went to so many cafes. But, I mean, it's so intense that if you're on Naver Maps, you will see parts of the map labeled wherever you are, Cafe Street. Like Apgujeong, Cafe Street. Iksedong, Cafe Street. Hongdae, Cafe Street. And then they'll have like a club street as well, which is honestly great because it's really easy to navigate around things. Side note about Naver, I was told that if you use Naver, you're basically a foreigner. Like you're 100% a foreigner.
Really?
Yeah, because I was talking to a local there, and they were saying that if you ask someone, because I asked that person, I said, hey, send me the location on Naver. I said, send me the Naver location, like how you can send. We were sending Naver links, and they were like, yeah. I was like, what? I don't even have Naver downloaded. Like I only use Kakao Map. I'm like, God. So yeah, that's something I learned while we were there. Like we use Google Maps. We had to adjust the Naver. They don't even use Naver. They only use Kakao, or I guess more local Kakao people do.
Oh.
Because a lot of the Naver stuff is boosted because I don't know if you noticed in businesses, they were like, oh, leave a review, get 5,000 won off or get 10% off. So many people had reviews, so people don't use it because it boosts. It's not like accurate.
Interesting. On that topic, you said you talked to a local. They were talking about like American stereotypes, and you just talk about like, they said that using Naver is a tourist thing, correct?
Yeah, it's like a tourist thing, and it's not something that they use. But this person was also younger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were like a younger Korean. So maybe the older Koreans still use Naver, but I know Kakao, and also Kakao's harder to use, bro.
Is it? I didn't even open it when I was in Korea.
Kakao is so Naver. I couldn't mark locations because I can't open a Naver account.
Okay.
Because I don't have a Korean phone number, and it wasn't working with me. But Kakao, you can sign up, so it's easier to bookmark stuff. But everything on Kakao Maps is Korean. Like you can't type in a English word and it'll search. It would not search it.
Yeah. It's on Naver too. Like certain things, if I type it, it won't search it. Like you have to type it in Korean for it to search for that.
So side note, there's another thing I realized is you have to type it out in American as one word, no spaces.
Oh, really?
No spaces. And then it would work sometimes. And then other than that, I would use Papago.
Oh, okay. One thing I want to say is a lot of things about Korea is not very foreigner friendly.
Yeah.
Talking about Naver, right? A lot of the things, but like you book, something as simple as booking something on Naver is like it's like reserved for only locals only. Like you have to have locals. When for public transportation for like with the KTX, you can't even buy the ticket. Like unless you have like if you go to the station, it says like foreigner cards aren't allowed. Like you have to go to like the booth and use a foreigner credit card like us, and then buy specific things like that way.
Yeah.
A lot of things is just not. It's just not like foreigner friendly.
Mm-hmm. And I would think that also at a lot of restaurants, the kiosk, most restaurants, they don't have like English.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to use like, well, if they have a kiosk, they'll have like English, but it's really bad. Like at MGC, our favorite coffee spot, it has like an English version, but other than that, yeah, it was very difficult. So yeah, if you go to Korea, I think it's much better if you have a Korean person with you.
Correct. A local.
A local.
Yeah. We had to get like knew somebody locally. He had to book some stuff for us just to do it. Going back to the whole stereotype things, right? You talked to this Korean local.
Yeah.
And they told you, I think you told me this. They were basically trying to discuss with you stereotypes that they have of American people. Correct? Something like that.
Yeah, you want me to run it down how everything that happened? So
Shoot.
first, let's start from the top. I met I met a couple locals at a language exchange actually, and so at these language exchanges, they pair American speakers or English speakers, sorry, along with Korean speakers, along with people from all walks of life. There was Germans there, yeah, a lot of people, and we were paired up with a table with some local Koreans. One was like 21, the other one was like 40 something. So essentially, I asked them, I was like, "What are some American stereotypes that you guys have for us?" After that question, at least, and he said, "Well, you guys don't seem like you guys care very much about what other people think about you, which is great. Another thing is you guys are really aggressive, or like very aggressive, and I think they said angry, but he didn't mean it in a way of being like, oh, we're angry all the time. It's just like we're not afraid to like speak our minds." And then another foreigner basically said that we are not in touch with our softer side as men. That's the best way I can explain it. They said that American men want to be more like macho. Like they're really hyper into being a macho.
Okay, I can see that.
Well, I guess in they were saying like Korean men aren't trying to be macho all the time. I guess they're like more softer or something like that. And the person basically said that even along with something like, oh, Korean guys are okay with getting work done. They're more open to getting work done versus American men aren't, I guess is what she was trying to say. But at the same time, I don't know. She was just saying that we're too macho for our own good, I guess.
Going off what you said about like Korean guys aren't afraid to wear makeup or get work done.
Yeah.
I noticed that some guys were wearing makeup in Korea.
Yes.
And I noticed that I saw this was very like I saw it more this was one observation I saw that was kind of not very, very common, but more prevalent than I would have thought, was that a lot of Korean men gets their eyebrows tattooed.
Yeah, so actually we both go to a Korean guy to get our car repaired. And I spoke to him about this because I had an Olive Young bag in my car from Korea. And he goes, why do you have a bag in there with Korean? I was like, I just came back from Korea, yada, yada, yada. He goes, oh, and we started chatting about it. And he said that, yeah, even the Korean men, they're worried about how they look now. Like they have like tattoos on their eyes. I was like, is it really that common? He's like, yeah, it's really common. And also a local said that, yeah, a lot of Korean men get their eyebrows tattooed, like a lot.
I was on the subway and I saw a guy, his joint was fresh.
And it's not just younger. It's not just younger.
Oh, this guy was old. This guy was middle-aged.
Yeah, there's a lot of we're not just talking about people like our age, like young people. No, there's like 56-year-olds with their eyebrows tattooed.
Yeah. Okay. What was some other stereotypes they broke down?
I remember those three. Oh, one was saying that actually, no. Other than that, it was mainly like anger. I think one was trying to be funny, and he says, "Oh, people say that Americans are stupid." I was like, "Come on, bro. I'm American. Like, yes, I'm Chinese, but I'm American." I was like, "What is that supposed to mean?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just joking. Like, you guys aren't stupid, but that's what some people will think about Americans." I was like, "What the heck, man? They're like, what do you think about Koreans?" Which I didn't answer because I didn't have anything bad. I just says people in Korea think that. People from America think all Koreans look good. That's what people think. But yeah. But I would also want to say one thing where you said that you notice a lot of Korean guys wearing makeup. One, I will say this. I looked it up. They say like 3% of Korean men wear makeup. But I definitely think that it's more prevalent in more youthful areas. Like we were in Hongdae. And when I was walking around Apgujeong and I guess some places in Myeongdong as well as Ikseodong with the cafes, I saw a lot more. A lot. But when we were in like the markets, I didn't really see that many. But in those hot spots, yeah, you saw a lot of guys. And I think some people wouldn't even notice, but because I don't want to say I know makeup, but I can tell when someone's skin is too clear. And some people's skin was too clear.
Oh, you mean finesse? Okay.
Yeah, and then people are like, maybe they just have really good skin. I was like, no, everyone's skin has blemishes, but some people were just completely one tone. I'm like, all right, that's like some, what's it called? Cover up? And also, speaking of makeup, in Korea is probably one of the one places where I see people openly just in public applying makeup. Like on the metro or on the subway or in the parks or things like that, I would see people just patting their face with cover up. Like
Really? No, I see that. I see that all the time though.
even in the States, I don't
I
see
see
that
that.
in the
I
States
see
very
that like
much.
universally.
Oh yeah, maybe I was just paying attention to it more in Korea.
Yeah. Since you're bringing up makeup, let's go there.
Okay.
Okay. First, in the past, we have discussed.
We said that Korean people like the natural look. They're more natural and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I would like to redact that statement respectfully that Western and Eastern women, or in Korea and in America, everyone puts on makeup.
Yes.
Like it's a good bit.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad or anything like that. Like it still looks good, but the makeup is targeted in a different way for sure. We joke about ABGs a lot. Like everyone talk about the ABGs. Well, Jesse, what's the ABG look?
It's kind of like a very like foxy and like it's a very it's how to put it.
Let's run it down. What they are applying to their face.
Yeah, so the whole ABG look, eyelashes,
Boom.
contour.
Boom.
What else?
You got the wings.
Oh yeah, the
That joint's
wing
sharp.
tips. What else?
Nose contour, like
no-
you said.
all that joint.
Fat
it's
lips.
It's very like out there. Like
Yes.
this girl got her face on.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing. It's a very good look, especially when it's done very well. It's a very attractive look.
Mhm.
Not for everybody. I know some people don't really like that type of look, but I think that here in America, it's widely accepted.
Exactly.
And a lot of people like it. I do notice that the Korean natural look, I guess I always thought that it was more like a minimalistic type of feel, minimalist type of presentation. I think that when I have seen it here in the States, it's a little bit more, like I said, more minimalistic and everything. It's not as out there. But when we went to Korea, oh my God, I did not realize like it is very out there over there. Like
yeah.
like when it's done here in the States, it's a little bit more on the minimalistic side. There, it was like out there. Like they put on a lot.
Yeah,
They put on a lot. And the biggest thing I noticed was that they love the little under eye blush.
Yes.
They love putting like the blush right under the eye and stuff like that. That's the newest thing. Like it was so prevalent. I saw this so much.
Yes, like you said about the Korean look. In the past, we were like, yeah, maybe. Like in my head, I was like, oh, they don't put on as much makeup, but no, they put on just as much makeup as in the West. It's just like I think it's just a lot of cover up. Like they want pale skin.
Yeah.
Would you say, right? So every person has this pale, I guess, foundation, cover up, whatever you guys want to call it. We're not makeup pros, okay? We're not. What's the thing they say on TikTok? We're not that ran through that we know what that means. But yeah, it's cover up. Like Jesse mentioned, the blush.
Blush under the eyes.
Maybe a little.
It's a good look though. I
It's
like
a good
it.
look. Maybe they have their eyebrows done. But one thing I did notice, they do their nose. They do this thing with their nose where it looks like their nose is glowing.
Okay.
Like I think in the States they do like this contour, but when we were in Korea, I noticed the Korean girls, they have this thing where it just looks like their nose is glowing. I know that sounds weird, but it just looks like it's glowing and there's no contour on their face. Or if it is, I can't tell. It looks just one tone, blush, and the nose contour or the nose glow.
Yeah. I think what we're trying to break down is that from our observation, we always thought that it was a more minimalistic, natural look. But now actually being there and seeing it like constantly for 2 weeks is not a difference of probably amount of makeup. It's just style and how they apply it and, and what they use. It's kind of different.
For sure.
I will say though, respectfully, that both looks, they're good looks. Whether you have the ABG look, more power to you if you pull it off. All y'all ABGs out there, carry on.
ABG it out. Screw it.
ABG it out. If it makes you feel confident, then freaking do it. And then if you go for the more natural look like that, hey, more power to you as well. It makes you look good. Own that joint. I bet you look good, and that you guys are all beautiful in it too. So
yeah, exactly.
But aside from the makeup, let's go into the next thing I wanted to address. Olive Young.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
We were earlier in a previous episode, we talked about how crazy the cafe culture is. Man, Olive Young, there's so many Olive Youngs. Like one thing in Korea was that the convenience stores, like every single corner, there's one. There's always a convenience store. Bro, there was just as many Olive Youngs. There's like literally one on every single block. And there were in some incidences, especially in Myeongdong, there was a Olive Young literally right across from each other.
Yeah.
Like on opposite sides of the streets, there was an Olive Young.
Yep. On Myeongdong Street, there's literally there's a small Olive Young on one side. Then on the opposite side, there's a big Olive Young. And then
Yeah.
a block over is another big Olive Young.
Yeah.
And then 2 blocks down, there's the biggest Olive Young.
Yeah, it was
like, holy
crazy. There was
crap.
Olive Youngs everywhere, which is not a bad thing. Okay, which is not a bad thing. I think that they say that Olive Young is the Korean Sephora or Ulta,
Yeah, something like that.
but yeah, it's crazy. Olive Young is crazy, and depending on the time that you go, that bitch is freaking packed.
Don't go on weekends.
Yeah,
don't go on
Was
weekends.
it weekends?
Yeah, when I was walking through Myeongdong on Friday through Sunday, you could not move.
The madhouse.
It's insanity. And then on Monday,
Madhouse.
no one's there.
I think that the benefit of them having so many is that the chances of them selling out is a little bit lower. There were some things, I will admit, I spent hundreds of dollars on skincare, okay? And there was incidents where the things that I wanted, they were sold out at one, which was an issue because like we went to go eat somewhere else and there was another Olive Young right next door and I went there and they had it. So, and I was stocking up. So I was trying to get like three things of like a certain item and I could only get one at one place. I said, all right, that's fine. I went to the second place and got 2. And the thing I love about Olive Young, kudos to y'all, is that for foreigners, it's like myself, like as U.S. citizen, they do immediate tax return. So if you buy over a certain, I think it's like
1,500 won. 15,000 won.
15,000 won, you qualify for a tax refund. And usually you get the receipt, you go to the airport and they give the money back to you. Which side note, yo, they give you the crispiest bills. The crispiest bills. And then, but for Olive Young, they just do it on the spot and give it to you, which is beneficial because it kind of like eliminates that second thing. But
all the major stores do that for you because at Musinza they do that. At Blue Elephant they do that. Only at the major Blue Elephants, things of that nature. So, but yeah, Olive Young is absolutely bonkers. It's somewhat overwhelming because you have options that you didn't even know existed. Like you walk in, you're like, oh my God, I could get this. I did that. I went in to get one thing, left with 6. I'm like, God, I didn't even need this, but let me try it out. Like it's.
What's crazy was like actually like going because I went to Korea 2015 and I never actually was into skincare, so I never went to an Olive Young. But going in there now, I realize like it's not what I expect in the sense that they also sell food. They sell food, they sell supplements, they sell everything.
Yeah,
which is it's like a one-stop shop. But anyways, you were talking about like Musenza and you're talking about stuff like this. Let's go into fashion.
Fashion, okay.
Let's talk about the our take on the fashion in Korea.
Okay. I'm gonna actually start off with Japan. Like when I was in Japan and then when I was in Korea, I think those 2 cities or those 2 countries, or notably Tokyo and Seoul, are the 2 best cities I've ever been to.
Over Europe?
Yeah. I think in Europe they dress very classy. They don't really experiment with silhouettes and things of that nature. In Japan, people are more willing to dress out there. And when I mean out there, it means they will throw together the most crazy stuff and be like, dang, that's some kind of outfit. Like my friend was joking, like that dude's outfit's kind of zesty, but it's kind of fresh at the same time. Like I can't tell. Like it's kind of sus, but it's kind of cool. But in Korea, everyone, honestly, this goes with their hairstyles as well as their clothes. Everyone, there's like a uniform and they kind of stick to that uniform, but they'll mix and match colors and like the shapes slightly, but everyone kind of dresses the same.
Yeah.
But it still looks good. I'm not saying it looks bad, but in Japan, they dress a little more out there. And I think it's reflected in the stores we went to. For example, in Japan, everyone knows Uniqlo. And Japan, Uniqlo has a partner called GU. Honestly, if you guys are in Japan and can go to GU, go there, bring an extra suitcase. Because if I did, I would have bought everything on that floor.
Should have.
Because they have everything you want, but in different colors and different shapes and sizes, and yeah, just a lot of stuff. But then in Korea, we went to Musinsa, which is like their kind of version of Uniqlo. Musinsa Standard, which we went to, is like their basics line. Everything was kind of similar. Exactly. They're not really pushing the boundaries when it comes to like colors or something like that. Like
They're very conservative with their looks and stuff like
exactly,
that. They're very conservative with their colors as well.
Yeah.
Which I want to say, okay, I want to point out there when we were in Korea, anytime I was in a crowd and I look out, 95% of the time, everybody's wearing black.
Yes.
It's like a sea of blackness. You know, hey, look at my outfit right now. I'm what you call it? I think I've adopted. Just kidding. I always wear black, but hey, I'm not gonna lie, it's a good look.
Yeah,
we're all ain't nothing wrong with wearing all black. You know, it's very thinning. Makes you look clean, but dang, there's so much blackness.
They all wear black.
It's I've never seen so much black in one area. It's like most of the time you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that in the crowd, a little bit of this. Nah, it's a sea of black with a little hint of gray, a little hint of navy.
Maybe they have denim pants.
Yeah, denim pants. Maybe a little khaki, but over vast majority is black.
Yeah.
Just it's crazy that like it's so widespread.
Yeah. No, that's 100% true. It's a lot of black, and they don't. Yeah, like I said, they don't really deviate from like that uniform.
Yeah, and then their style. Everybody's basically, almost everybody is basically copy and paste wearing the same exact thing.
Yeah, it was very baggy pants.
Yes,
like I just want to say this: Japan wasn't as oversized. They were just kind of trendy. Like people just wore trendy clothes and like out there. No, in Korea, people was wearing the most baggy of the baggy pants. Like, you know, it still look good, but everyone's pants was massive. Like I can't even deny that. I bought myself a pair of pants.
But yours aren't really that baggy though.
Yeah, but they feel huge on me, but they are comfy. But anyway, yeah, they're really baggy as well as what Jesse said, a lot of black. What else about the style? Oh, going into the stores in Korea, you went to a couple of streetwear shops as well. What did you think about the style?
Like I said,
the streetwear style, not Musinsa. Musinsa was kind of, you know, basics. What do you think about the streetwear styles and stuff like that there?
It's like, if I were to explain it in one I guess generic term, it's kind of like hip hop dancer type.
Yeah.
Like streetwear. Like it looked like the type of clothing that dancers be wearing. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of I like it. I like it. My issue with it is that I tried some things on that I really like, but the sleeves were too. Hey, listen, I'm 6'2", okay, and it's one of the hardest things when it comes to tall people and being over 6 foot is finding clothes that fits properly. Like I can find clothes that fits my torso properly, but usually if it fits my torso, my arms are too long. So there was some things that I saw and I was like, dang, I really like this. Then I put it on and it comes like half my forearm is revealed. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't buy this. So
I will say that the sizing in Korea was kind of peculiar in some places, because in Seongsu, which is a very nice town, nice part of town, they had like we went into a store where like I was wearing a medium that was fitting like a double XL. I was like, what is going on? And it wasn't the only place that was like that. It was a couple places. But actually, one thing I will say about that store I went to is called Core, COOR. And a lot of other stores, it kind of reflects like their cafe culture in a way, where it's a whole experience.
Really? How so?
Like the place that we went to, Core, I've never seen a place that has like an interior like that. It was all stone. It would be kind of like how I would design a clothing brand store at least, because they had all the clothes kind of suspended from the ceiling, so it looked like it was floating. and then everything was stone. Like you can, I don't know how to explain. It looked like the whole building was carved out of stone.
Okay.
And then I noticed that a couple of their stores are really, really vibrant like that. Not like I said, not Musicians as standard, but they're stores that have like a pop-up feel. Like the cafes have like a pop-up feel where it's like very immersive. I think maybe they not stole it. They got it kind of from Gentle Monster, because that's what Gentle Monster goes for. Like the store is so outlandish when you walk by, or New Dake, it's so ridiculous and over the top in there. And I think Korea or Seoul takes that to the max.
Okay. Okay. I see what you mean. Anything else you want to talk about there when it comes to fashion?
No, not really. Do we have to talk? Or we want to talk about their hair too?
We can go there next. All right. I guess since you're talking about that everybody in Korea has like a uniform, they kind of dress very, very similar, when it comes to their hair, there's like different variations to it, but like almost everybody has a part these days.
So the thing I noticed was every guy has a 2-block, low key. Every guy has a 2-block, and then where they part it or if they put it up is where it changes. But every dude in there has a 2-block. And I will say this. People think, like on TikTok, if you look up on any short form platform, people think there's something called the Korean perm. But when we were in Korea, not a lot of Koreans had that Korean perm.
What's the Korean perm?
Like really wavy, and it's like a bowl cut, and it's like super wavy, or it's like a parted, really, really wavy.
Oh.
But when we were in Korea, it felt like everyone's hair was a really flat, sleek kind of bowl cut.
They perm it differently.
Yeah, they use an iron perm.
I think that everybody, you're right. Everybody has a 2-block hair, but just the only difference is the variation of the part and how they do the part. So some people, they have no part whatsoever. Some people, they part it down the middle. And then some people, they part it more to the side. And then from there, they have different variations where some people hang it.
Some people put it up.
Some people help put it up. Some people kind of like hang one side and put it up. But it's all very, very similar. Me personally, I like the one where I told you to do, where basically you get the part on the very, very edge. And then you kind of like
push it all,
slick it up, and then have this side hang. I think that looks so tight.
It does look tight. It's called the gail cut or gail cut.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I will never get a part because I do not want to be basic and be copy and paste. So I refuse. Actually, we can go into that, talk about the salon experience. When we went to Korea, I actually, knowing that I was going to Korea, decided to grow my hair out for 6 months because I wanted as much canvas as possible in order to get what I want. Because I knew that if I grew it long enough, no matter what I got enough hair. Because I think one of the hardest things when it comes to hair is having enough hair to do what you want. You can always take away, but you can never, I guess, have some more hair once you cut it off.
Yeah.
So grew it out. And when I went to the salon, I love the fact that Naver gives you discounts. I literally got a perm, a down perm, and a cut for 58,000 wons.
Which is how much US dollars?
Which comes out to almost like $48.
Which is $48 is the price of a haircut most time.
Yeah, like $40. Like 35 to 45 is a standard barber cut these days. You go anywhere, it's like 35, 40, and that's like generous, and that's just usually a fade and a little touch up, right? I got a perm, a down perm, a cut, shampoo, all that for 40 basic dollars. Insane. And the only reason I get that, this is a little cheat code for y'all. If you want to get a haircut, go on Naver, and they always post specials on Naver, and they'd be like, go here, special. If you're first time a customer, you get like 40% off. And then on top of that, I don't know if all of them do it, some of them do it. If you pay in cash, you get an additional 10% off. So I got like 50% off my haircut, and it ended up being like 58,000 won. And the thing is, I realized that Olive Young, cafes, and hair salons and convenience stores, those 4 things, they are literally on every single block. Every single block, you can guarantee there's one of those things present. Because it felt like there was a hair salon like every other block too, just like on the Olive Young's.
That was a good bit, yeah, for sure. But especially in the major parts. But I'm going to put my 2 cents out there. If you want to get a nice haircut, don't go to Myeongdong.
Do not get a haircut in Myeongdong. Why?
Well, I think it's just focused more so around foreigners. And then I learned, okay, maybe this is something I learned in general. If you go to a foreign country and you want something there that the foreigners use, and you walk into the lobby and there's no Koreans in there, you're probably in a place that's just for foreigners.
Tell them about your experience.
Yeah, so I went to the one place because it was known to give like scalp treatments. So I was like, all right, I'll just do two birds in one stone because I don't want to go to two hair salons for two different things. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go there, get the hair treatment, get my hair permed, get a haircut. So I go there, get the hair treatment. Hair treatment went fine. Nothing wrong with the hair treatment. But I noticed that when I was in there was no guys, and there was no one that was Korean that was like a customer. All the people working were Korean, but no one else was. I was just worried that I wouldn't be able to speak to them to communicate. But honestly, like you said, like you kind of just tell them brief guidelines and they'll just like see what
Yeah.
works best with your hair, which is what I did later on. I went to Apajang and I got
You
a
have to
cut my
be.
hair.
I realize when you get your hair cut, you have to be very specific in what you want.
Yeah.
And you know, talking about the whole perm, it is. You're right. I believe that most guys in Korea don't do what I did and got my whole head permed, my hair permed. Like I told them I want that joint wavy.
I don't think they want wave. They want straight
They want
and flat.
So I know they do down perms and then they perm the front up
Yeah.
to give that little lift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They go whoop, and then they go. They put that little tape there, just to make it go up,
Yeah.
and they give you that little
Yeah,
tip.
that's what the dude did. Man, he taped this up, then he put a roller on my hair to make just at the root, just to boost the
The
roots.
second one, right?
Second guy.
Yeah.
He knew what the heck, and he was cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go to a place that's foreigner friendly, it's more expensive.
Mm.
Like, they knew I was a foreigner for the second place, and it was still cheaper than the first place.
I heard that one thing you got to do when you go there is you ask for how much it is first before you do it.
Yeah. And luckily on Naver, they give you all the prices.
Yeah, but still, I think that you should ask them like, how much is this?
Yeah.
That's what I told you. You said you have to ask. You have to be clarified with like, how much is this first before you do it, because if you don't, they might change it up on you. Oh, you
Yeah.
did this, and they charge you a little more. Who knows if that's actually thing, but that's just what I was told to do. Make sure you get the price.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.